Hello everybody. Welcome to another stream for this week. So a few of the things that I've worked on and I was able to do this past week have been I've tried to focus a little bit around performance, a little bit of level design, and I'll show some of that. I've looked into using the system that I have with the metahuman heads on the various marketplace bodies, and also try to adjust to a female character, because what happens with the since this is the ALS V4 skeleton, it is mapped to some extent to the mannequin skeleton, but the problem with that is a kind of a male size, male posture type skeleton, and they look kind of unnatural for like the female characters for the NPCs. So I did a quick adjustment on pulling in the shoulders, because that was the kind of the main thing. The shoulders were really wide, so pulled in the shoulders a little bit and pulled them down a little bit. This is not this kind of like the body, it's kind of a male character. So I'll change this real quick to a female character here. So along with that, I did have to export. So I've exported some of the metahuman skeletons again, because the ones that I had previously came from UE4. So I was kind of running into some issues with the face, with like the head face skeleton. So I ended up re-exporting a couple of them, so I can use those. The other thing that I've done is kind of giving them like an idle status. So I have like smoking and inspect weapon, chatting, and maybe others can be added. But the reason that I've done this is because you can have through the states that come with the ALS system, you can have them being like injured, hands tied, or other types of states, like maybe dusting or like repairing something. But the reason I wanted to have an idle status is that when I interrupt this guy or gal, I want them to change that into like a chatting status. So I wanted to keep this NPC overlay strictly related to interactions or weapons, and then have this idle status, because you can see I have an idles here. So if it goes into this idle state, then it can access whatever I have in the idle status. So this could be like I was saying, dusting, or some kind of like an idle thing that they're doing. And with that, let me show you real quick. So basically right now, and it's gonna look a little bit off because right now he's like smoking, she's smoking, and it looks a little off mainly because doesn't have a cigarette or something in his hand. So that's that was just one of the idle states that I found, I think, on Mixamo, but it could definitely be something else that has a little bit more realistic vibe when it comes to kind of the hands placement. So it doesn't need like the when you think of a cigarette, it has to interact with the face in some way. So that's a little bit more complicated, but I think this was the one that I was able to download pretty easily. So what would happen is right now, the character is focusing on you if you're like kind of hanging around, and so they're looking at you. There's a couple of I don't know, you can call them emotes, or so that whenever you're in range, it can have a little bit of a facial animation, as you can see. And then once you start talking, what should happen, and it doesn't really, I still need to fix a couple of things, but what should happen is this should go into chatting. So it does change it, but right now I can show you I have a little bit of an issue with the ALS blueprint, that it only enters the smoke state, so it doesn't go back out of it. So that's the one thing that I need to fix. But what should happen is you should go into chatting mode. So at the moment, if I was to let's actually add a transition here. So I'm gonna try and get this to see if it can work. So as you can see, it went into chatting. I did not have a transition from this state into this state, and even if this one's empty, it still works. So now it went into like a kind of a chatting status. So within chatting, what I can add is, I believe I do have some kind of animation that was targeted for this skeleton, that was somewhat related to chatting, or can't remember what that was, what the name of it was. Let's see, maybe an idol. Yeah, so see, as you can see, there's like an aim or like a sweep floor type of thing for the ALS. And where did I say? Yeah, there's the smoking. Where did I put that? Talking, maybe? Can't remember what I named it. Talking on phone. Okay, so this could be one of them. This talking casually. And of course, depending on maybe the dialogue, it can be changed to something, more intense, or. But this one's just kind of a default animation. Let's take a quick look at it. So it kind of does this. And what's pretty interesting with this, you can always add. I believe. Let me see if I got the node correctly. Where do I look for that? I think it's like a random sequence player, and you can provide it with multiple entries. So in this case, I have this casual gesture, and they all have like a certain chance of playing. So I'm gonna use this. I don't have anything else at the moment, but whenever they're you're talking to the character, they could play this kind of a status. What I did set up is this thing where it's kind of tied to the dialogue. So let me see if I still have that here. So let's take a quick look at the dialogue. So in here, there you go. So I have this actually have this body montage, so it's actually tied to the dialogue, which is great. I couldn't remember if I already had that added to this. And so this should play just like so. The one thing that it doesn't do is, I believe I might have something here that I need to change this to be the proper slot. So it'd be, because it's an overlay related to the ALS. So whenever you have a if you use ALS, whenever you have one of these animations, you wanna assign it to a specific slot. Though this being an animation, I don't think it needs anything, so I think it can just be in just the default slot, if I recall correctly. Oh, actually, and my mistake though, this is a montage, so it does need a slot. So yeah, let's do that properly. So we're gonna do a spine, and then we're gonna do the head as well, actually. So I got head, let's duplicate it. Then I'm gonna need a spine and duplicate it, and I'm also gonna need the arm. left, and duplicate this, and arm right. Okay, perfect. So now that this one's in place, let's see if it actually plays. I want to take a look and see, because again, some of the things that once I migrated from, while everything worked great with the migration, there was definitely some things that got updated, mainly being the metahumans, and that's why I wanted to see. Let me take a quick look and reset the dialogue first, because I've already interacted with this character before, so that's why it stayed in here. So yeah, as you can see, the animation is playing as expected, and then it goes back into into this bad habit. So yeah, there you go. The one thing that I do need to fix, and I'm just noticing this, it looks like the menu for the dialogue is not coming up properly, so I'm gonna need to look into that. I'm assuming it might be related to updating the plugin to the latest version, like this dialogue thing. So let's see if I can quickly take a quick stab at it. Dialogue plugin, it seems to be up to date. Let's see, I'm gonna check here and if there's any updates for this. It looks like it's up to date, so yeah, I'm probably gonna have to figure that offline. But yeah, that's some of the updates to the character. Oh, and one thing that I just mentioned was related to the kind of the female body versus the male body, right? So right now, let's actually add a mesh that's like a female mesh to the character itself. I can probably keep maybe the riot vest. I can probably keep it. So let's see, the riot pants as well. Maybe the shirt and the hands can. Let me see if I can find one that's. I have a package that was again on a big discount at one point. The survival girl, and let me take a look at the. Let me try with the separate mesh. See how it works. Let's see, maybe where's the hands? Oh, body parts. So let's try this. Let's see how this fits. To replace that, and it didn't really work so well. Let's try the full body. Okay, that's actually a lot better. I mean, it's kind of a little bit off with the shirt here. Kind of funny, but let's see if we can change that up a little bit. Where is the... I think maybe this mesh might fit. Why is that it's so cut off, so weirdly cut off? Let's see, try this one. Okay, that's slightly better. Yeah, so there's all these meshes that are kind of I mean, they're really great, but they're like cut off instead of going all the way to the shoulder. They're like cut off at the elbow, like this one. I you know, you can, I get it. It's kind of just these parts to put together. It's a little odd. So let me try this one as well. And which one do I need to clear? Oh yeah, so this is interesting. They're like cut off right here where the breast would be, but what I'm gonna do is, instead of that, for the body mesh skeleton, I'm gonna add, there's like a couple of also this is actually a pretty cool pack, especially when it comes to these combinations. You already have like a bunch of combinations done, but there's also some body parts and and quite a few separate outfits. So I can probably use this one to try and go like that. So, and then I can clear the hands here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, and it's got the pants from the survival character. Oh, hey Gitish, welcome. How are you? It's going pretty good. Thank you for joining. But let's try the pants for the girl, because I mean, I want to throw in some variety, so that could help. Okay, so I have that. I have the legs, I have the arms, I have the head. I can probably use a couple of the other meshes that I have here for the shoes. So let's see if that works. Which one? These ones? Okay. They're a little bit off. I think the bones don't particularly match that well. But so as I was saying, what I've added is I've added this variable to determine if it's a male or a female. So let's see. And what that would do is this is for the male, and if you had it definitely looks kind of odd for a female. So for a female, what I've done is in my anim blueprint, I have added, let's see, where's the anim graph? So right towards the end, before the final pose, I have added a little bit of a transformation to like the upper arms, and just kind of moving them in a little bit. So in this case, just by a little bit, like 3 units on the X, on the Y, and then -4 on the Z. So that way it kind of like the shoulders go down a little bit and in, so it's not like that broad male shoulder type of pattern. And so yeah, there's a little variable here, which if it's a female, then go this route along with everything else before it. So and that I think makes it makes this particular character look a little bit more female. And of course I still need to and yeah, I mean, it's still, I guess for some the arms are still stretched out, maybe just because of the size of the ALS character. And I might adjust that a little bit more, just so that it's using a different skeleton. The only problem that I had was the particular skeleton that was used for this package. For whatever reason, don't really understand it. It has an extra bone for the hair. Yeah, if you take a look at this, the skeleton tree, everything looks pretty much the same, but there's like quite a few other ones, like braids and all this. So I would have to retarget things to it, and that's not a big issue, and I might just end up doing that, because if given that there's quite a few variety in the outfits, like there's hats, there's pants, there's different tops, I can definitely get quite a few female characters out of this that look different, and once they have a different head, that's going to help as well. And so the main thing is there's also going to be the non-interactable characters that I'm definitely not going to use like a metahuman type character. And so also the other thing that I think might make quite a bit more sense to retarget the current mannequin or the current ALS animations to this female character would be that I can easily control the placement of the head, because right now, like what I'm doing is the head is just attached to let me see, I can show you real quick if anybody's interested. So in my construction script, I'm using basically what's in the ALS package, and so I'm setting the skin asset and update for each one of these body parts. The ones that I'm interested in following along with the AnimBP, right at the end I'm doing the set leader pose component, and for the face I'm just setting the face AnimBP. This one's not necessary to do it, but if there is a usage of a different face, like maybe not from a metahuman, then that's what I would use this for. So the face itself, I'm actually just linking it to the head, and the one thing that I did do, I've shown this when I was doing it in Unreal Engine 4, is this bottom piece is where the neck goes. So if you're putting the head on top of if you're putting like the metahuman head on top of just a regular marketplace body, then what it's gonna turn out to be, and I can show you if I just update the mask on this. I think it's just what is it, highlights, not highlights, but head mask multi. So let me move this to the side, and I'll show you what I did it that way. So, and actually I'm gonna clear this one here, and let me move the head up a little bit. Oh, come on. Yeah, so this is what might happen, right? You might get the shoulders, depending on what you have for like the body, kind of sticking out. So with the mask that I had, let me see if I can find it now. You can control the opacity of this region, so that way if you have like an open top, right, or some other type of outfit, you can control the amount of, how much of this part is being shown. And because the main problem is also the metahuman head has quite a few different bones up in here, and they might not always match with what your skeleton is. And so let me see if I can find that that mask, and I should have it somewhere around here. There we go. So now you can see you only get the neck and the head. So that way it kind of sits a little bit better on top of what's going on here. And let me just move this back into place. Oops, it's kind of like stubby there. Let's see, it's actually that's 0, and even though these are X, Y, and Z, since it's tied to the bone, to the head bone, they're not like always, the Z is not always going to be like up and down, right? So that's the only problem here. Alright, so maybe 5, okay. And the same thing with the mask can be done for this particular character, for the body, just to hide the neck area here. Alright. So those were some of the character related updates. Let me show a little bit of the level related updates, as well as some of the UI kind of fixes that I was able to do, and how the the global illumination works. Basically, like I was able to I've previously had a flag to turn it on and off depending on whether you know want a better performance or not. So let's take a look at that real quick. Oh yeah, and I did do a little bit more extra work on the kind of level design type stuff around the bunker, and managed to actually with Lumen remove, since you don't need the bounce lighting anymore, remove each one of my lights had a couple of well, each one of my light assets had a couple of lighting units, so to speak, or had a couple of lights in them, right? One of them was a rectangular light, like this one that projects down, and then I had a second one that would be more for like the bounce lighting around here. And with Lumen, that got removed. I don't need that anymore. But let's take a quick look at how the UI works. And I'm hoping this is still loading. What's going on? Why does this freeze up? Oh yeah, Gitish, thank you so much. We'll probably do a little walk around because I still want to test a couple of things around the bunker area. As soon as I'm not sure why this one froze. I'm glad that I saved it. Hopefully it won't crash. Just getting like the mouse button at the moment. That was weird. Okay, that's better. Oh, and I forgot to to disable that little trigger. Alright, so the one thing that I was able to get out of this, and let me minimize all my little windows here because those take down the frame rate quite a bit. So let's see. So right now this is with Lumen right around 50 in stuff like this, and of course with like streaming and all that, it just kind of, yeah, whenever I look in a different direction for whatever reason, it just drops the first time I do it. But yeah, with Lumen, I've added one thing that I've added. Hey, Heaven's Disciples. One thing that I've added is I was looking at it previously, and I wanted to add a little bit something a little bit bigger, right? So especially because like the idea is you want to have something small, something medium, and something large. So adding these larger trees was actually, and yeah, as you can see, like here is running at 50, 55, 52, 53. So and this is, yeah, this is with Lumen. And I'm sure that on a modern like a up-to-date computer, this would easily go to 70 plus. And so one of the things that I want to show you is the menu. So with the menu, in the settings and video, I have global illumination, and unfortunately I need to figure this out. It doesn't come off with this being selected right off the bat, which is kind of interesting, because if I exit out of the menu, hey Seb, salut, welcome. So if I exit out of the menu and then go back in, it does pick the right value. So the way I do it is whenever I open this menu, I check to see if this particular CVAR is set, right? So in this case, be it global illumination. So if I turn off global illumination, you can see the change is not very big. But I mean, yeah, the frame rate does go up by 10 frames per second. You're not going to get the global illumination inside anymore. But then of course, you don't get the global illumination kind of light bounce around here. But it does bump the frame rate by quite a bit, which is what I was going for. And I'm really happy that the switch between between global illumination, e.g. lumen, to I think this is set to none, to no global illumination, is pretty seamless, right? So with global illumination you get all the bounce lights, you get the really nice lumen reflections, and but yeah, I mean there's definitely, like, as you can see, 10 plus frame drop because it's it's global illumination. Yeah, so that's some of the quite a bit of time it took me to I had an issue with the menu itself, especially like all these icons were kind of just they had like a wrong material applied to it, and they were like, instead of one, they were like 4 small ones, and that was just the tiling on that material. And so yeah, now it's kind of nice to have everything in here working. Like the resolution, you can bump this down. Ah, shoot, I forgot I exited out of the game. So let's see, I need to show some of the levels because they're not being shown anymore. And where is it? The map. There we go. Alright, so yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to do, is add these this kind of a larger type of tree, just because of everything else was almost about the same size, right? There wasn't anything like like that, like having like a big item, a medium, and kind of a medium to small, and then like the small items around here, like the logs, the really small trees like this one, the bushes. So that was one of the things that I wanted to do, and was playing around with the scale of this bigger tree. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking as well. And if you say that you've tested it, then I'm definitely gonna, because I want to do a build one of these weeks, and actually just once I have the whole let's see, so this was a pretty interesting place where I was doing quite a bit of testing on the lighting. So yeah, once I have the plane sequence coming in, I want to do a build and actually do a test to see how it runs, right? So I was playing around with just the kind of the settings for the time of day to, so whenever you if you do switch between to be without lumen or with lumen, at least that difference is not going to be too big. So let's see if I change back to let's see what's going on here. To this, without lumen. I think this one is not maybe the best example for a scene to see how you would benefit from lumen or not. But yeah, it's it definitely I definitely like lumen. So I think the main thing with it is being able to have those transitions from outside to inside, and that's where I was, I was trying to figure out a bunch of different type of ways to have that. And right now, it's, when it comes to an interior, they're all going to use pretty much kind of the same post-process volume, and I like that. I don't have to set up different planes to show that there's like a dark area there when you come out from the outside, which is great. If there's anything dynamic like doors or anything like that, then the light is going to come through, which is also great. Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the bunker. I've played around with the bunker area a little bit, and there's going to be quite a few just simple missions that you're going to get in the bunker. And let me see where that is, because it's somewhere on the ground. I still need to find a placement for it, because I have a placement for everything else, but I don't have a placement for the bunker, and I'm trying to figure out where exactly to place it. Also based on where the landing places from the airplane are at. And by the way, let me know if the audio from the music is too loud, or if you can't even hear it. Yeah. So let's see, where's the bunker? Bunker. I'm gonna try and do a select actors and try and focus on one of them maybe. Oh, okay, good. Where is that? Select actors. Okay, so this one should be a mesh within there. Okay, that's good. So let's take a look at some of the changes here. One thing that I was trying to do is, like I said, these particular lights. Let's take a look at one of them. Alright, so before I used to have this little rectangular light that was casting the light on the ground, and then there was also this point light, which was a lot smaller in diameter, just for the bounce light. So now with Lumen, what I've done with the rectangular light, I've bumped up the indirect lighting intensity to 6. I mean, it could be lower just to reduce some artifacts. It also, a lot of the time, the artifacts from the indirect lighting intensity depend on the surface. If it's a very rough surface, like usually like the natural surfaces that you have with like rocks and stuff, you could bump this up quite a bit without noticing a lot of artifacts. If you have like an interior, like with flat paint and stuff like that, and where the normal is very small, or not small, but very not intense, right? Then you're probably going to notice a lot of like the little dots in the artifacts. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Gitish. I never thought of it. I think since I have my desktop audio and OBS turned off, and it's only coming off of the mic, and the mic is not the greatest, so that's why it's probably not even coming through, which is good. I'm not gonna get all the audio blocked because of copyright, which is good. So as I was saying, let's take a look at the light complexity here, Alt 7, if anybody's interested. So this is how it looks with let's see, where is it? Neon light. Let me bring this to the side. So this is how it looks without that light affecting the world. So let's see if I turn that on. what's the change. So as you can see, you know, since that light was on a pretty small, it has a pretty small radius, it's not that impactful. But if you do want to bump it up, depending on the light or the placement of it, it can add quite a bit. So you know, without it, quite a little bit of difference. Now the one thing that I can't figure out here is why can't we see it? Let's see. I thought I had this on. It is. Let me take a look at the post-process volume for the bunker. I thought I had this one turned to lumen as well for reflections and global illumination. So how come that one is not? How come it's not showing the little indirect lighting on it? So let me see, what values do I have? Oh, so I actually bumped it down here. Let's see if I bump it up. There it goes. So so yeah, as you can see, it's how it shines around here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna set it to, I'm gonna leave it at 6. Let's see, so this one, and also one of the main things that are very helpful to me at least is the lumen reflections, which they look nice without it. So if you have too much of an issue with performance, turning it off is not gonna take too much out of the way this looks. So if I was to do screen space, it actually still looks pretty good. Actually, I'm not seeing any change, especially for this this particular asset. The bigger one, I think, that you might get a change is, let's see, where are the folks at here? So there's like a little bit of a mirror here. You know, of course, there's not going to be a real-time mirror, but let's see if I turn off. Yeah, so that's none, and then screen space. You'll see that it's not very realistic how that it's still, you know, it still looks pretty good. You know, you have to be at the right angle, but it's still not like how lumen is, right? Where you can actually tell that, oh yeah, you know, I'm expecting the little lamp to be kind of right there. So, and again, it's down to how rough the surface is that you're reflecting off of. Like in the case of you know, this this ventilation shaft, right? Let's see, where's the light? Somewhere around here. So having lumen or not, or just having screen space, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. But on shinier surfaces, like you'll see on this on the ceiling here, yeah, so that makes a difference. And that, unfortunately, it's not what it's supposed to be. It's probably just from the sun, because I don't have anything above it, so that's why. I think it's just a plane or a mesh wall. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so another few things that I was doing through the week, besides kind of adjusting some of these lights. So like this one, for example, also has the same setup where you can adjust indirect intensity. Maybe it's too big at 6, but yeah, without it, it looks like this. And let me see if I can just do that. And so this is how it would look with no intensity, and then once you turn it on, it definitely makes it look a lot better. The other thing that I played around with a little bit is kind of just the volumetric intensity for these lights, to have them so you can adjust them. Let's see, like that. Yeah. So down in here, it is definitely a little dark. What I might do, the way I've done some of the, whenever there's like these interior post-process volumes, what I have done is I'll kind of relied on the exposure. So I usually just bump it up a little bit, like here. I can potentially bump it up to a 1.5 just to add a little bit more light around here. It was a little too dark even with all these lights. And let's see, what if I was to make this radius a little bigger, because they're all pretty small for these. Kind of like that. There it goes. So I think that actually looks quite a bit better. Let's see how it impacts. It doesn't impact the lighting complexity too much, so I'm happy with that. Hey Rolla, hey, I'm making a video game on Unreal Engine 5.1. I have a question, like when I try to import a metahuman, it shows project settings not enabled and plugin not enabled. Oh, that's actually a good question. I haven't run into that. Have you? Are you using, because the way I do it is through here, let's see, through Quixel Bridge. So in Quixel Bridge I can go in here and look at metahumans whenever it loads. It's not the quickest. And then my metahumans, and I can select one of these. So for example, this one needs an update because I think the original one that I had was from Unreal Engine 4, and then I just download it and then I add it. So I'm not sure if you've tried it this way already, but this is how I do it, and I have not run into that issue that you mentioned. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to do is actually jump into game mode and navigate around this area a little bit. Oh, so you did it in Quixel Bridge. Yeah, I haven't run into that. What about, have you tried updating your plugin? Like, updating it, deleting it and reinstalling it, kind of a thing? And okay, so I'm gonna try and jump into game mode through in this area of the world, in this bunker. Yeah, so Rolla, try doing that. I'm not sure what else I could tell you. I have not run into any issues with it so far, so I might not be the best resource. Okay. Let's see, player start. Do I have any player start that belongs to this? It's persistent, bunker corridor, bunker level. Okay, this could be a good one. So you're gonna spawn right here. And do I have a tag for this? Player start bunker. Okay, that's good. So let's see if we can spawn him in the bunker. Event graph. I'm actually gonna duplicate this just so that I can reuse some of these things. Ah, come on, really? This is so odd. Why would copy that? I don't get it. Copy. Paste. There it goes. Alright, so the one thing that I do want to load is I am loading quite a lot of levels here, and this one is going to be, I believe, did I name it properly? Bunker underscore level. Bunker, come on, I'm not typing in there. So bunker underscore level. There we go. And this one goes here. And of course, yeah, this is the section whenever you actually run the game and not in dev mode. So I'm gonna add this one. I don't care about that. Just gonna run it right there. Alright, let's play and see if I spawn within the bunker, and we can test a little bit kind of the navigation around it, and see if I run into any issues. Oh, there you go. So that went pretty well. Oh, I need to remove that print at all times. Alright, let's see. So I believe down here this is like the lower level. So it might be where the machinery room is. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, so so that looks pretty good with Lumen. The only thing is, let's see how it looks without it. That could be actually not that big of a difference, which is great. It actually looks pretty good without Lumen as well. Yeah, with Heaven's Disciples, yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's actually to me the performance on metahumans is pretty decent if you set up the LODs properly. Because once you get really up close and you use like the hair strand, is it the hair strands instead of like the mesh cards for the hair? Is the hair that kills it? Like the hair would like kind of bring down performance quite a bit. So that's one of the things that I usually try to pay attention to. Oh, come on, really? Huh. That's, oh, I was just placing that thing there for like, it's just a placement kind of thing. Oh yeah, no problem. And feel free to message me on Discord. I can give you a little bit more pointers on what I have done. Oh, the roller. Yeah, I'm happy you got that. It's whoops. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Supposed to be a ladder there. I guess something to fix. Yeah. So so Rolla, it looks like it was just a glitch. So that's good. Okay. So right now this is, and as you can see, yeah, the reflections are not the greatest. So let's see if I go back and say give me back global illumination, see how that looks. Okay, yeah, that's, as you can see, that's it does have all that you know, kind of the darkness in these places where it's supposed to be, and without it, you know, it's just bright. It still looks decent. I'm still okay with how it looks without without Lumen, but it does look better with Lumen, I have to say. So, you know, definitely reflections look better, even though not for these particular assets, so to speak, but like I said, some more of like the kind of the shinier objects, they it does help quite a lot with. But yeah, having the global illumination, that is very helpful. Alright, so this one's actually a pretty cool little asset. Oh, one of the things that I actually wanted to do during the stream, and I actually forgot to bring it up, is having a flashlight. So I've had this on the back of my head for a while, and I've never really. I've actually wanted to do it during the stream, and I always kept kind of just kept pushing it aside, or um, so. Well, Sorella, you probably need to fix that blueprint compile error they're running into. So Martin IOV, what do you mean by real world perfective, real life? I'm not sure what that. I don't follow with that. What do you mean with that? Or not the granules? Was that Google Translate? I know Google Translate doesn't work for everybody so well. Okay, yeah. So I was saying, let's do the headlamp. Yeah, headlamp. All right. Let me see where my character is, and let me open that up, and we'll add a quick maybe F for flashlight. That could do it. And main character. Alright, let's see. There it is. Okay, so. And the viewport, I have this as the flashlight, the spotlight here. So how do you make guns in your game to damage stuff? There's a ton of tutorials on YouTube. I'll say that. The way I have done it is with projectiles. So if you look up tutorials on YouTube, the main one, so the one that I use, or not the one that I use, because I kind of started from scratch with it, is one. Look for one that has projectiles. At least that's how I do it. You know, it gives you a little bit more flexibility, I think. So, you know, the projectile will do the damage when it hits a surface, basically, or it hits a character and something like that. So, all right, let's take a look at the player input graph here, and I'll do a. Hey, Rolla, my pleasure, and thank you for the subscription. This is I've had people asking me about doing tutorials and stuff, but there's already people that do it full time, right? They actually do tutorials full time, and they make money off of YouTube, Patreon, and stuff like that. I don't make anything off of this, so at least probably not at the moment, because it's just a part-time thing for me. But at least I can point you in the right direction, I hope, and hopefully that's helpful for you. But yeah, look up. There's a couple of guys that I follow. One of them is Ryan Laley. So I'll just post it in chat here. Ryan Laley. He has quite a few series on. So let me type the other one in. So the other one is Virtus Learning. So these two channels, they have what I like about them is that they have a series of tutorials. You know, like yeah, it's pretty basic to some extent, but it does get you through the process of creating a first-person shooter. You know, so yeah, hopefully that's helpful. All right, let's add a action to add a flashlight, or actually turn on the flashlight, because I already have the flashlight. Oh, thank you, Jay White. Yeah, there's definitely some great channels out there that, again, are professional guys that do this full time. I am not. I can at least point to them. All right, so let's see, flip-flop, and then I'm just gonna do the spotlight to set visibility. I think that should be fine. Actually, I think it was just toggle visibility. Yeah, it might be better. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Heavens. That's those are also folks that I watch. Code Like Me, Matthew Wildstein. Um, so thank you. So Rolla, hopefully you're seeing the chat. Those are some great channels. Alright, let's try the flip-flop. I haven't tried the flip-flop node in a while, so I'm kind of interesting to see. I can't remember if I need to do A and B. So, oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's great to have. So let's take a look at. Let's see if this flip-flop actually works, or if it's just going to cause me trouble. And then I also wanted to test it out. Yeah, I guess it's causing me trouble. Why won't it turn on? Come on, really? How does the flip-flop node works? I thought that was oh, actually affects world. That might help as well. So let's try it again. Alright, and go into game mode here. Tomatoes. Is that from Matthew Wedstein? Yeah, tomatoes. And yeah, for Matthew Wadstein, it's definitely a great channel for like kind of the tidbits, right? I don't think he has like a series of okay, now you do animations, now you create projectiles, now you create weapons, now you do this. I think he has more of a what's this node do? You know, like what's the look at node does? What does that do? It's kind of like that. Alright, so the flashlight works. It's a little bit odd because I have to press it twice, so I need to take a look at that issue. Yeah, Blueprint Node tutorials, that's awesome. Yep, exactly. Alright, so yeah, the reflections look nice. That's awesome. That's great. Let's see inside here. I think it was kind of a dark area. Yes, you can go through the door. And the other thing that I wanted to fix is actually the ladder here, because you're not entering it. Oh shoot. Okay, so that was kind of a hard land. You're not entering it properly. Oh yeah, that actually looks pretty nice for the headlamp. It seems to be lighting it pretty well. The one thing that I was trying to do actually with the headlamp is use a and I thought I had it. You know what? That's what I was thinking, Captain Snugglebutt. Captain Snugglebutt, I love that. Do you even need the flip-flop? You press it once, it does A, then you. Yeah, you know what? That's probably what it should do. But I need to know. Yeah, so I'm still deciding on. I'm probably gonna keep it, but I don't really use flip-flop because this is kind of like the first instance that I can think of needing it to use it. So I can't remember the way it works, if it's like A, B like this, or no, and that's what I'm gonna do as well, Jay. But I'm gonna bring up Matthew Wadstein's channel and look up flip-flop and see what exactly what it does. So yeah, but you know, it works. It turns on. The one thing that I was looking at was I wanted to use like an IES texture. So let's see if this helps. You know, kind of just to give it the look of a flashlight. And I actually have a light placed somewhere in the level where I was testing this out. I was really just testing the IES texture, and I'm not sure if it actually does anything. Oh, okay. So, so Jay, are you saying that in here it should actually be like this? Hey, Rolla, you fixed the blueprints. Awesome. All right, let me add a spotlight in here real quick. And see what the IIS setting might work best for it. So spotlight. Alright, so I'm gonna have an IES setting. I'm gonna try this, and maybe it doesn't really work so well if you're using the IES intensity. Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha, Jay. Thank you. Right, well, well, I'm kind of, yeah, I guess I wasn't firing on all cylinders. Like, the toggle visibility is going to turn it on and it's going to turn it off, so, yeah, my bad. So I think it should just work like this. But why doesn't this, what would be another interesting IS thing that I have? That one doesn't really shout out flashlight as much. Also, you kind of do need to know how to code. Yeah, it's a lot easier than doing it in you know, C++, for example, when you have visual scripting. But you also, I think you do need to know the concepts, right? With visual scripting, you still need to know the concepts of coding, right? Whenever you create, if you want to have something bigger, you know. But yeah, it's a lot less typing. It's a lot faster iterating. So yeah, I love blueprints. Alright, so let's turn this off. See how that looks. Oh yeah, Heaven's Disciples, I hear you. I feel the same way. Ever since, especially, not to complain about CryEngine, but especially after moving from doing C++ in CryEngine to blueprints in Unreal, the speed up was just immense. Like, it was huge. So there we go. Yeah. And I kind of like I like the flashlight. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, whoa. I almost fell through the floor. That's something interesting to have. What is happening around there? I thought I had this as, I usually set my my door frames to not have collision, just so that I don't run into any issues with them. Depends on the size of the door frame as well. Yeah, Jay, that's perfect. I mean, and that was the same thing I was trying to do with CryEngine as well. But it's so much easier. Anything that you do here in Unreal, especially when you create children, like, because for example, my NPCs are grandchildren of like the ALS character, base class. So I've added a ton of the the functionality in the child classes that I'm only going to need for NPCs, and I'm not going to need for my main character, which is also a child of, it's a kind of a brother sister of those NPCs, but it doesn't need that functionality. So it's always good to have children, make children off of a parent class. Okay, so let me see what's going on with the collisions for this little door frame here. Why would it complain about it? Oh, and since we're here, actually, let's bring in that NPC character. I want to see how it looks in like in a basement. So so this looks good. Oh yeah, and you can pet the dog, but you have to feed him first. So that's part of the mission. Anyways, something that I guess it was a thing on Twitter at one point. Can you pet the dog in a certain game? And I guess the interaction text block is still stuck with me. Anyways, all right. So let's see. Walking around here seems to look good. Unfortunately, what's going on with that control for the elevator? Oh, that's weird. Do I have something to call it down on this floor? I guess I don't. I could test that one out as well. Let me see if I can get into that the section where the section of the bunker where you actually can exit out into the world, even though it's not properly placed. But let's see how things look around here. There's like the storage closet. No, like the you're gonna get a few items from that person sitting in that chair. Yeah, so that's a nice mess. Thank you for the physics simulations in Blender, right? That I was able to create some of this stuff. And I think this is actually one of the places where if you there's like quite a few really reflective surfaces, and you'll be able to tell, like, once I turn off global illumination, how things look. So yeah, it looks quite a bit I wouldn't say flatter, but yeah, all the cans don't have that nice reflections going on. There's no bounce lighting on the walls, as you can see right there on the top. So going back to turn on global illumination, there it goes. I think that's better. Okay, and from here there's like gonna be the guest quarters. Oh man, what did I hit my head into? There's like something weird happening around this for collision. Not sure what. Might be one of those tubes that has a broken collision thing on it. I'm not sure. But I know that I am stuck. Oh, that's great. What you stuck into? Oh, I got myself unstuck. Yay. Okay, yeah, so this is that little... Yeah, there's Jay, there's definitely especially when I have these corridors, I'm still relying on the collisions from these handlebars, which is I'm gonna put some blocking volumes so that way you shouldn't have issues with getting trapped into one of those. Yeah, so I wanted to get down here just to see how things look. Yeah, and as you can see, there's actually no, reflections look pretty good with lumen. In that, I need to figure out where that. I think that might be coming from the directional light. That's this kind of a weird sunset type of color lighting. Right, so that looks pretty good. One thing that I've also added is I've started to add a couple of or add a little bit more variety in like the concrete I guess the concrete mix. It's the concrete wall textures around the bunker, you know, because like it was all just a little bit too much of just this. Let's see, can I show one that's a little, yeah, so of just this. So I was looking up some reference photos, and these kind of this type of concrete, it's got a funky little name to it, cast in situ, which is I guess the name of it. So I've added a few of these around here just to add some variety. Hey Bendy, I'm good. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Hey Rolla, that's great news. Happy you were able to get that blue. Yeah, Jay, definitely variety. It is the spice, and there's actually have a couple of different ones. So there's like a cast in C2, which is for this, and then a cast in C2, which is this one. So RH tutorials, I do have a few tutorials on my channel. I don't have kind of series of tutorials besides my terrain tutorial. I think that was a series of tutorials for me. There's like 4 videos on how I made my my terrain material. But aside from that, I only have like kind of tidbits, you know, like things that I could not find on the internet covered to my liking, so I was trying to show how I did my version of those. So so yeah, you know, I'm a small channel. I unfortunately don't have the time to do, you know, extensive tutorials like some of the other folks that we mentioned earlier do, and you know, there's already so many options for, or so many such a wide variety of tutorials out there that there's not going to be a similar game. Even if you follow the same tutorial, in the end it's going to turn out different. Okay. Yeah, so let's take a look at, I wanted to bring in, because I have this guy here. This is just going to be, you know, one of the filler characters, and you know, doesn't really fit with the area anyways. But let's start with one from scratch, and I'll also show you some of the things that I have for these for these friendly NPCs. And so I'm gonna start with I think I'm gonna use this as a male character because it already has the male body. It's a lot easier to deal with that. And first I wanted to add a head, so I'm gonna try with this one, Lucian. I can't remember how hopefully it looks good. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, so he looks pretty good there. Not entirely sure why the hue of kind of red. Not sure where that's coming from, to be honest with you. Oh, I think it might be something that the the skin material for these metahumans is just so intensely complex that it might be like a subsurface kind of thing. I need to figure out what that's about. Hey, Storm Running Gaming, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's place the head where it's supposed to. There, maybe a little bit higher up. I can't remember. I think the X, because it's that connected to that one bone. So the X is a little bit moving it higher. 6. There you go. I think that's good. Oh man, my frame rate has dropped quite a bit. Let me hide some of the levels that I have, because I'm showing out a ton of levels that don't necessarily need to be, can be hidden, especially when you're inside the bunker. There we go. Okay, so for each one of my characters, I have a, since you can add a you know, all the body parts here. I also have a set of groom assets that each metahuman comes with, which makes them look, you know, hair, and so on. So for Lucian, no, Storm Run. This, since I have a bunch of body parts, I can make a variety of characters that way, and each one of the characters is going to have, you know, kind of its own name, its own list of dialogues, and of course if it's interactive or not, and its own stances. Like you know, like for example, this guy. Let me give him his name, because unfortunately he's going to be called. Actually, no, I can't. I have a earlier in this in the stream, we were doing kind of the interacting with the character, and the dialogue plugins, or the dialogue, is running into some issues that I need to try and figure out, and it wasn't showing the rest of kind of the interaction, so I need to figure out what's going on there. It's probably something simple that I've misplaced, but yeah, so they each one have its own list of character names, or each one has its own name and a list of dialogues. And in this case, I can show you, like I'm using this, let's see, maybe I don't know which one. Let's do the one with Jane, because that one is quite a little bit more, this one is quite a little bit more developed, so it's kind of like this, right? Each one of these nodes on the tree would have a set of dialogue with talking, which adds a an animation for the facial animation, and as well as an audio. And depending on whether this they each have a series of conditions, if it's going to check for quests, for example. Also quests for completions, like in this case, it's going to be this check for quest actually also checks for completion. So Exo, hey, welcome, and Satvik, sorry, hey, hey man, thank you so much for the kind words. I'm happy. I'm happy you're here. Yeah, definitely. Do you have me? Do you have my Discord channel? Like earlier this week, I chatted with somebody else that was interested in using Unreal. So not sure if you have me on Discord, but if you do, send me a message and we can chat after this. Okay. So yeah, last thing that I wanted to do is kind of give this person some hair, maybe a beard. Let's start with the hair. This guy is Lucian, so Lucian has, I guess his folder also has female hair, which is kind of interesting. Cool. Okay, so let's look at the male hair, and the hair, there's the beard, there's the hair loss, which is his, and let's see, there's a hair, and for now the thing that it's also needing, this particular hair loss, it needs a binding. So let's see, where are the bindings, because they're separate folder, and I think it might be this guy here. Okay, so there's the hair binded to the head as it should be. Now the only thing that I'm trying to figure out is why does it turn blonde? I don't get that. So I'm not sure if it's something related to the material for the hair or what, but yeah, there's something going on. Anyways, let's add some eyebrows. Hey, Satvik, no problem. Okay, so let's add some eyebrows here. Where are they? Where are they? So hair, mustache, beard. It's actually interesting. I think they're in the... No, those are the eyelashes. Let's take a look at this. There's some oddity. I'm not entirely sure how this ended up here, but it's there. Just the same thing with Pia, which Pia is a female, and there's like the male here that got exported into its directory. I'm not entirely sure how this happens, to be honest with you, when it comes to the metahumans. And just also as a note, these are like the low quality that I have here. That's why you don't see, probably you don't see the pores as well or anything else. And because I just wanted to have something downloaded, especially for the stream as well. And the high quality ones are they take quite a bit to download, quite a lot of time. So Heaven's Disciples, I've actually bumped up to 4K the if you're thinking of the texture streaming pool, it's I've bumped up to 4K. Hey Mobmer, welcome. Hello. Heavens, so do the eye movements work in game with metahuman? Yeah. I'm not sure if you joined a little bit later. I was showing it right at the beginning. That I've had just like the regular eye movements whenever they're like you interact with the character. So let me show you. I'll show you with this one. I'm hoping that it works. I don't think I need to set up anything else. I think by default this one the particular like eye movements just kind of a an idle type of eye movements setup. Okay, so let me add the rest of these. Let's see, male. Oh no, this is just male hair. Oh, and the cool thing is, I guess it's got some helmets. So in case you don't want to use the really nice looking. These are not, they're strands, I believe, for this LOD0 for the metahuman. Let's see, where do we have? We have the beard, we have the hair, we got the mustache, but where are the eyebrows? Let's see. Eyebrow, there we go. So let's do the eyebrows. So we have our eyelashes and eyebrows. Let's do this eyebrow messy, and then let's see if this is the binding. There he goes. Ha! And it actually like kind of makes him more alert. That's kind of interesting having that in. I was not aware of that. Okay. And mustache. Let's add a mustache and eyelashes. Okay. So just to complete the look. Oh, thank you, Heaven's Disciples. Alright, so let's see, we got some lashes, eyelashes side curl, eyelashes thin. I'm not entirely sure which one to use, but let's try these ones. And which ones are the bindings? Thin. Okay. So there he goes. He's got some eyelashes as well. And now the mustache. On mustache. Where is it? Jay White, what do you mean? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, this metahuman assembly, it's coded by me. So it's actually pretty bare bones. I can show it to you. So heavens, I have not used the crowd feature because I'm not gonna have a lot of kind of crowd related items, or not items, but NPCs in the game. And they're all based, my enemy AI is all based off of behavior trees with nav meshes. So hey Hence, do you by any chance know a way to have a light switch with bake lighting? I don't, because I don't know much about bake lighting. Coming from CryEngine, everything was dynamic, so with Unreal I'm also in like the dynamic world of things. Yeah. Okay, let's try and move this guy down to the level below. Oh my god, the frame rate is kind of getting killed right now. Alright, let's see, where would I spawn? Hopefully not right on top of that guy. Well, let's see. Whoops. Oh shoot, I think I might have not added him to the proper level. So let's see, he's in the persistence, so I need to bring him into the bunker level. Let's place him into the bunker level. Alright, he's in the bunker level. Oh hey, Rolla! Awesome! Awesome, I'm so happy you fixed that, the other issue you had. Okay. So let's see how this guy looks up close. And yeah, Rolla, nice. Congrats. Oh, there he is. Okay. Who was asking me about kind of the eye movements? Yeah, so there you go. So what I have is kind of a mix of, there's a couple of default animations that I think maybe 2 or 3 that came with the original, I think for like kind of the first version of the metahuman. And there was like these 2 or 3. There's like a crowd concerned and like another one. And I am positive you can do these in the control rig. So you can create its own little animation. Right now they're, they could be, it could work a little bit better, because like yeah, so it's opening the mouth and he's kind of looking around, looking at you. And once you interact with it, what I'm using, there's because since there's going to be, of course, dialogues, um, it's Heaven's Disciples. Yeah, thank you. So what happens? I need to generate the lip movement for the specific dialogues that are going to be in the game, and in case I haven't shown it to, or folks are new to the stream and they haven't seen it, what I'll use is let me see, where is that? There's this package on the marketplace that can help, which is there's a little bit of setup that you need to do, and oh, come on. So this particular package on the marketplace is what I use to do this audio to facial animation for the metahuman, which is awesome. And depending on your settings, you can get them to move their lips. So let me show you one of those. Let me see, I can probably try and use this guy, though he's not gonna have like the he's not gonna have the hair. So let's see, where are some animations? Okay, I guess that's, yeah. There's a couple of things that I need to fix because it applied a different skin tone to the character. So this is basically what you can generate with that plugin, and it's as easy as I'll show you in a bit. Yeah, so you know, for like longer things, there's also like this movement, and again, this is generated by that plugin. So the way this works is, let me find a quick audio, and I think the quickest way to get there would be through the dialogue. Let's see, dialogue, and this one here. Alright, so you got an already generated audio file, right? So you either record it yourself, that's what I've done multiple times, or what I use is Replica Studios. So if you're interested, that's what I use to generate kind of their AI created voices, but they did have some recording from actual voice actors, so you can get like the voice tone of scared, or like authority, like screaming and that kind of stuff. So on an audio, I'm not sure if it needs to be a I think it needs to be like the audio and not the cue. So like the audio itself, you can do a create lip sync animation, and this pops up. So you got the sound, you got the emotion. There's like quite a lot of them actually. Wow, these are new. They only used to have like 3, so this is awesome now that I've checked this. Well, I guess it's good to do streaming. And then you can generate the eye movement, the neck movement, and you know, you can pick the skeleton here, and this one would be your metahuman skeleton, which is the face, and then also the mappings, which you can either do a custom or metahuman. So I've used metahuman. So Heaven's Disciples, which do you think uses less system resources, metahuman or ALS? I think to me ALS uses like I'm not noticing anything with any kind of drop with ALS. Metahuman definitely uses a lot more when it comes to you being up close. So like I have noticed frame drops when I'm like this close to the character. Like here, the character actually shows the hair strands. Like once you go farther back, and let's see if I can show the LOD coloration. I'm not sure if it's related to nanite, but like see, for example, here it turns red, green. So it's all a matter of how you use the hair itself. Like to me, like I said, I have noticed quite a drop when I use the strands. So here, let's take a quick look the hair here for this guy. So hair loss, I think it's this one. Yeah, so it should be this one. So this one is using, for the LODs, it's using strands. And I sometimes, like, I've tried to switch it to cards or meshes. Meshes for whatever reason doesn't seem to do anything, so I'm not sure if it's what's wrong with that. But switching it to cards has definitely helped with performance. And you would have to do that for each one of the LODs. I think, like, actually, yeah, so see, they're all on strands, and it's only down to LOD 3 that it starts. Yeah, so you got LOD 0, 1, and 2 using, actually no, this one's using cards as well, but like LOD 1 is using strands, so you can probably switch that to use cards, and it could potentially quite a lot help with performance. So yeah, Heavens, I'm not sure if I've shown you the replica studios. Let me see, where is that? Right here. So with the replica studios, you just need to type in, I think by default you get like 30 minutes free, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, but yeah, last stream I was showing some of these, and these are all just generated like that. Let me turn on the desktop audio, and hopefully you can hear it a little bit better. So for example, this guy, shit! I'm not sure if you've heard that because I'm gonna wait for YouTube to update, but because I'm still lagging behind what I'm saying to what you guys actually see. So Jay White, AI NPC UE5 demo. Which one is that? Can't say. Okay, good. I can't say that I'm familiar with it. And so this was a couple of them, but here's one that's kind of fearful.
Hello, can you hear us?
Let's see, that's kind of low. Let me turn off this audio and kind of turn up the volume here. Hopefully it's not going to be too loud. But
please get up. Press W to get up.
So that's kind of like a more concerned voice, which is also kind of nice to have.
Hello, can you hear us? Please get up. Press W to get up.
Right, so this is kind of like right at the beginning of the game when you fall out of the airplane, and it's pretty nice to have, right? And what I do, I export these as because you can easily download them as a WAV file, and then import them to Unreal, and then just generate the facial animation. It'd be nice to be able to do it procedurally, but I think there was somebody trying to do that at one point. I'm not entirely sure if that's still the case. Yeah, I totally get it, Heaven's Disciples. I'm with you on that. It'd be nice to have it to have that procedural happening. But I actually think that with this service, I think you can actually do it. As one thing that I think that they mentioned on their store page. I think you can like use their APIs and run in real time to generate the audio. The only thing with that is the vendor itself not being around when you release your game, right? So that's the only thing that I'm a little bit afraid of when it comes to all these free things, is how do people make money? And I get it, it might be a kind of a love project for somebody, which I thank you, but it wouldn't be you'd expect something to happen when you release your game, and then their API are down, and the character is just stuck there with um, with a closed mouth, right? It doesn't really move. So Jay, Muammar, welcome. It is not a battle royale game. There's so many of them out there that, and I don't play battle royale games. I just play single player, story-driven games, and it's yeah. So it's a single player, story-driven action adventure game. Okay, on YouTube, Jay White. So AI NPC UE5. AI NPC UE5. Let's see. Oh, okay. Is it this one here? Oh, this one. Oh, very cool. Then I'll have to take a look at that. Thank you so much for the suggestion.
Okay, guys, so
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a look. Thank you again. Hopefully I was looking at the right one again. With between like the delay, what I'm saying, and what you guys get to see, there's a delay. Perfect. So Heaven's Disciples. Yes, I did already quite a lot of world building, and the storyline and the lore are in place. I just need to type in, like, go into here, type in all the dialogues and generate the audio. So that's why I've been trying to find which one of these voices would work best. That's why I've been kind of browsing through the Replica Studios library, and so yeah, as far as that goes, that is pretty much in place. There might be some tweaks to some of the dialogues, but yeah, most of the missions I have are in place as well. So, and also the main locations, at least for the I'm hoping to get a demo out within the next few months or so. Hopefully the real world does not get in the way too much, and I'll be able to do that, and get some folks to play it and try it out. That's what I'm looking for. Create a nav mesh in large open world using navigation, invokers in Unreal. Works with voxel plugin. Oh, that's a nice suggestion for Heaven's Disciples, right? So that'd be something cool. Alright, well, so one last thing that I wanted to do, I keep saying one last thing and then 10 minutes go by, but I wanted to, let's see, I wanted to try the flashlight in the forest at dark. So let's see how that would look. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, Heavens has got a gigantic world, if gigantic is a large enough word to use. Alright, so let's see. I have the map, and let's see which one's the player start that I wanted to use to try out. Okay, the Nordic that's it. Let's go back into the persistent world here and use this one. And I'm gonna fly to that location there. And let's also make it so that it's nighttime. There we go. Every time I do a compilation, there's some kind of error with like an existing blueprint that I don't even use. So it's so odd sometimes. minimize some of these open windows here. That should help with performance quite a bit. Okay, I kind of like the flashlight, how it looks. I guess it could be a little bit farther. Let's see, the mantling still works fine. I don't think I can mantle all the way onto that. I think that's a little too high for the mantle. But I think the light should be a little farther away. I don't think it's far enough. So maybe 2000. Let's see how that works. And I also need to adjust like the inner cone angle and the outer cone angle as well. That might help with that IES setting. Oh, this is awesome to see. You guys are working on this together. That's awesome. Okay, so this looks, I think that's pretty good, and it looks more flashlighty like at the moment as well. One thing that I might want to do, let's give it a little bit of volumetric scattering. Hey, Shorts Klupinov, what is I'm not entirely sure. Let me see what Google Translate says about that. Oh, hello. I guess it was well, привет, I guess that's what it is. Hello. So no, Trion, this is not a horror game. It's an action adventure kind of game. So yeah, there's plenty of horror games out there, and I'm not myself, I don't play horror games, and so I'm kind of making what the type of game that I normally play. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so there it goes. Let's see if Thank you so much. Yeah, it's I normally play like the types of like, I'm not sure if folks have played Days Gone recently, Dishonored, like Dishonored 2. These are kind of the types of game that I play. There's like a stealth aspect to it, there's like a combat aspect to it. Of course, it's not going to be near those as the way those are, but yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm looking at. And that's actually something interesting. Yes, for the folks that have just joined, this is how I get my the missions, or not the missions, but kind of the status, right? So you get the compass down there. There's going to be a and actually I can reset that real quick. Let's see, where's this one here. I'm not sure if this one is with the error. Not sure if that's gonna cause an issue. Yeah, so the horror games, it's kind of, I would, since I don't know much about, since I don't play horror games, I notice there's a ton of them out there, right? And since I don't play them, I'm not interested in making a horror game anyways. So but yeah, so this is also how I get my the missions, and there's like the compass, which is gonna point you in the direction of where to go with the distance. That little arrow above the distance is whether the target is above you or below you. So right now they're somewhere above you. That way, if you're especially like in the bunker, for example, which is multi-level, you know that the target is going to be, is above you, right? Right. So I think that looks good. Let's see if I also bump up the indirect lighting for that. So I'm gonna bump it up to 6. I want to see how it, if we can benefit from lumen through the flashlight. I'm kind of curious about that. So flashlight. Can't really tell if there's any difference, to be honest with you, because I mean it's something attached to me as the player. Yeah, but the reflections, especially like in that puddle, they look pretty slick. I definitely like that with lumen. Let's see if I was to turn lumen off. Yeah, they still look pretty good. I do have some reflection captures around here, but yeah, the rest of it does have that kind of flatness that comes with not having lumen enabled. So there it goes. Oh yeah, Heaven's Disciples, thank you so much for mentioning William Foucher. He does have some great tutorials on lighting. I think he's a lighting artist at his core or something like that, but yeah. So this looks pretty good for the flashlight. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, there's some more reflections in that puddle. I'm gonna change some of these materials around anyways, but yeah, that looks pretty good. And this is one of the things that I was trying to consider quite a bit, is whether to use like a flashlight or have something like a torch, right? Like something like that. But with this one, it's kind of cool. It's got the little gauge on it to tell you how much you got left. It could add a little bit more of a interesting, because you can pick up gas tanks. So right now the light doesn't turn off. I guess there's a little small issue with that, but there's gas tanks that you can pick up, and yeah, that was the thing, give the player options on lighting. The only thing with that is that then this hand is going to be, you're not going to be able to do much with it. So if you want to look at what your mission is, then this can happen, right? So even if you use like a flashlight in that hand, or a torch in this case, I am more inclined to, because like at the point, you're gonna have a pistol, and I guess I didn't really unequip the torch properly. So you're gonna have a pistol, and I think having a headlamp makes a little bit more sense if you are gonna use it. So it's an amazing floating can, exactly. Yeah, so especially like if you let's see, turn on flashlight. So if I was to equip like the bow, or I mean the bow is a great example because it's a two weapon type of two hands kind of item, right? So yeah, of course you can turn it off, turn the light off, but during the day, or at night, like for example, let's see, let's switch to the pistol, or this is the new pistol that I've implemented. So yeah, the flashlight could work really well for this in this case, and and you can check your and it's just moving a little too slow. That's actually interesting. I need to figure out a way so that the flashlight, especially at dark, does not conflict with the screen that much. So Notrion, I am using an IES texture for this for the flashlight, so maybe that could be one of the issues. I need to, maybe there are ones that the initial thing is spawning more light towards the end of the IES texture. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, so it works a little bit better with where's the rifle? Yeah, so I guess in this case this one doesn't look so well. I mean, I need to do the placement a little bit better on it. But yeah, having a flashlight, it's kind of, you wouldn't be able to do this. So I think the headlamp is what I'm gonna end up going with. Not sure if do I have, I guess this one does not have, the projectile does not add an impulse. I need to set that up anyways on the various physics enable objects. Hey, bonjour, 3 Die, welcome. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Heaven's Disciples, I actually got it. I got that thing off of CG Trader. So if you look up wrist device, I believe is what I looked for. There's actually the one that I got. Actually, Notrion, that's a good idea. The only thing with that is that the body does not turn. Well, I guess I could make it so that it points to where the head is pointing, but that's the only issue if I don't attach it to the head. And I think at the moment, let's see, spotlight. I guess it could be placed a little higher up. I mean, I don't need to have it. I can put it there. Not sure how, if that's gonna look kind of honky, but yeah, with the chest, since with ALS the chest only moves past a certain point, then the flashlight is gonna end up pointing in one direction, and it might look a little off. So let's see, it still looks like it's coming from the head. Let's see how it looks with the rifle. That's kind of interesting. Oh, I know what it is. Now I know what it is. So what happens is, and I forgot to adjust this properly. It's the state when you go into the rifle state, the head is pointing down a little bit. So I need to adjust or count against that. It's that if you're familiar with the ALS, when you sweep up and down, I've actually adjusted the head. So I should have probably adjusted the arms or the spine. And I think for the rifle, I've actually just adjusted the head to look down the barrel, and that's what's happening. Like the head is pointing a little down, and that's why the flashlight is pointing a little down. So it's hitting the rifle. Something to fix, I guess. I got enough post-its on my desk, anyways. Hey Zulu, I am in New Hampshire. Fortunately, it's not New York. But Heaven's Disciples, that's a great thought. Look at rotation. That's actually perfect. I think I might just go with that. Oh, and 3Die, that's a good thinking. The tags or channel light, I'm not sure if you can exclude meshes, but that's interesting. SM Tag 95, welcome and hello. And Ayush Rathari, I'm just gonna go with Ayush. Welcome if you're new, welcome. Okay, well, So we're across the 2 hour mark. I was trying to kind of keep streams under 2 hours or just about 2 hours. So SM Tech, it's actually the name of the stream. It's called On Your Own, because yeah, I'm working on this game by myself, so hence On Your Own. Alright, let's shine some light in here. It got a little too dark. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna be ending the stream for today. I still haven't had any food today, and so I'm gonna end a little sooner, or not a little sooner, but just at the 2 hour mark, as I normally do. Alif, welcome to the stream. But yeah, tomorrow's exam, so focus on that. That school is good. You guys have a good day, gals. Have a good day. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you on the next one. As I mentioned, I try to do streaming on Saturdays, but it doesn't really always work out. So I usually stick to my guns for Sundays. So thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. I'm glad to have so many people on the stream this time. It's awesome, and I guess folks were able to actually also kind of discuss things and figure out things. So I'm really happy for that, and that's why this is here happening. And if anybody got any ideas from what I've shown, please use them. Heaven's Disciples, Notrion, have a good day. SM Tech, you do the same. Jay White, you too. And let me see, before I end, who did I talk to about Sadvik? Sadvik, if you're still on the stream, I'm gonna post, not sure if there's anywhere where my Discord is besides, I think maybe my channel, like the about page on my channel might be. So let's see, let me post an invite to the channel, or like what is it, create an invite people. Let's see, why can it be expire after never? So if anybody's interested in chatting or anything else, here's the Discord link, and hopefully I'll see you on the next game, or on the next stream. And Bootsy's Bleep, welcome. Unfortunately, you just arrived at the end of the stream. I was just about to close off, and was doing some closing remarks, and also just Discord for Satwik if he's still around. Hey Gitish, yeah, I was just about to end. Thank you so much for coming back. But Boosty, hopefully I'll see you on the next week. I try to do streams every Sunday, at least every Sunday, if not Saturdays as well, at noon time on Eastern time, so 5 p.m. That would make it 5 p.m. GMT, or 17 o'clock if using military time, 1700. Okay, y'all take care. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, bye.